The fitness industry loves inventing new exercises, new machines, new programs, new buzzwords. It's almost as if the human body gets redesigned every January. But here's the strange part. Some of the smartest training methods ever discovered are actually the oldest. Long before gyms, long before protein shakes, long before someone decided standing on an inflatable half ball while holding tiny pink dumbbells was a good idea, people were already building remarkably strong, capable bodies. Not with complicated workouts, with simple movement patterns the human body still responds to today. And here's what's fascinating. Modern exercise science hasn't replaced many of those ideas. In several cases, it's quietly rediscovered them. We've been learning the newest rehabilitation techniques. One of the more humbling discoveries was realizing how often they brought us back to very old movement principles. Apparently, the human body has been reading the same instruction manual for a few 100,000 years. Today, we're bringing back 5 ancient training methods that still make remarkable sense after 50. And one of them is something almost every healthy child does naturally, before adults somehow forget it. Method 1. Carrying. If you had to choose one movement that humans have practiced for thousands of years, carrying would be near the top of the list. Water, wood, food, tools, children. Our ancestors were essentially doing loaded carries long before anyone called them functional training. The beauty of carrying is that it trains almost everything at once. Your grip works, your shoulders stabilize, your core resists twisting, and your posture has to stay organized while you move. Hold a moderately heavy object in one or both hands and walk slowly for 20 to 30 seconds. A dumbbell works, but so does a grocery bag, a backpack, or a container filled with books. If you're new to it, start light and keep the walks short. If you can walk for 45 seconds without leaning to one side, gradually increase the weight. Keep your belly button gently drawn toward your spine. Breathe normally, and walk tall rather than stiff. The payoff is immediate. Shopping bags feel lighter, luggage feels more manageable, and many people notice they stand a little taller afterward. But carrying mainly trains the body while your hands are occupied. What happens when your body has to support itself instead? That's where the second ancient method becomes surprisingly powerful. Method 2. Hanging. Here's something curious. Watch children at a playground. Give them a bar, a tree branch, or anything they can safely grab. And what do? They hang. No one teaches them. They simply do it. Then, somewhere along the way, adulthood arrives. We stop hanging altogether and replace it with sitting at desks, driving cars, and wondering why our shoulders feel like they need a software update. Ancient people didn't have pull-up bars, but they climbed, they reached, they hung from branches. Their shoulders moved through ranges that many of us rarely use today. If you have access to a sturdy pull-up bar, hold it with your feet lightly touching the floor or resting on a box so you're only supporting part of your body weight. No need to prove anything. This isn't an audition for an action movie. Stay for 10 to 20 seconds while breathing normally. If that's uncomfortable, simply hold the bar with less weight in your hands. As your confidence grows, gradually support a little more of your own weight. Keep your core gently engaged and think about creating length through your spine instead of shrugging your shoulders. Your shoulder isn't just a hinge, it's one of the most mobile joints in the entire body. That incredible freedom comes with a price. It also needs excellent control. Gentle hanging helps remind the joint how to organize itself again. The payoff often surprises people. Reaching overhead becomes smoother. Putting luggage into an overhead compartment feels less awkward. Even taking a sweater off without performing a small interpretive dance becomes noticeably easier. Now we've carried, we've hung, but neither of those is the movement which was hinted at in the beginning. Because there's one ancient movement almost every healthy human mastered before they could even walk, and then quietly abandoned. Method 3. Crawling. Here it is. The movement nearly every one of us learned before our first birthday. Crawling. It may look simple. It may even look a little silly. Your nervous system couldn't care less. Crawling is one of the few movements that asks the left and right sides of your body to communicate continuously. As one hand moves forward, the opposite leg follows. Your shoulders stabilize, your core resists twisting, and your hips coordinate the entire pattern. That's a remarkable amount of teamwork from an exercise that requires no equipment whatsoever. Compared with sitting on a machine that trains one muscle at a time, crawling teaches your body to move as a connected system. Start on your hands and knees. Tighten your core gently by drawing your belly button toward your spine. Lift your knees just an inch or two from the floor if comfortable. Can't lift your knees yet? Keep them on the floor and practice the opposite hand and knee pattern first. Ready for more? Crawl farther, slower, or in different directions while staying controlled. Funny thing about crawling, adults spend so much energy trying not to look ridiculous that they sometimes miss one of the smartest exercises they'll ever do. We remember learning about developmental movement patterns and thinking, surely this can't matter that much for adults. The body doesn't stop appreciating good movement simply because we've celebrated a few more birthdays. Within a few weeks, many people notice everyday tasks begin to feel more coordinated. And that brings us to the fourth ancient method, one that's been hiding in plain sight every single day. Method 4. Getting up from the ground. For thousands of years, people didn't have recliners, or dining chairs, or adjustable beds with remote controls. If they wanted to rest, they sat on the ground. And when it was time to get moving again, they stood back up, over and over. Without realizing it, they were practicing one of the most valuable strength exercises ever invented. Getting up from the floor isn't just about strong legs. It asks your hips, core, shoulders, and upper body to work together while your brain quietly manages balance the entire time. To practice, sit comfortably on the floor and stand up using as little hand support as you safely can. Then, slowly lower yourself back down with control. Need an easier version? Place a sturdy chair beside you and use one hand for assistance. Ready for more? Try standing without using your hands, or slow the lowering phase to challenge your balance even further. Keep your belly button gently drawn toward your spine. Breathe naturally and move deliberately instead of rushing. This isn't a race. Gravity has been undefeated for a very long time. Here's something that medicine has become much better at appreciating. Independence isn't built from dramatic moments. It's built from hundreds of ordinary movements repeated throughout life. If you have recent surgery, significant balance problems, or severe joint pain, use support or speak with your healthcare professional before progressing. The payoff reaches far beyond exercise. Playing with grandchildren on the floor feels less intimidating. Gardening becomes easier. And now we continue with perhaps the oldest training method of them all. Not because it's complicated, because humans have relied on it since the beginning. Method 5. Walking with purpose. Walking is ancient. Walking with intention is training. There's a difference. Our ancestors rarely wandered around counting steps on a watch. They walked because they had somewhere to go, something to carry, or work to do. Their posture changed. Their stride became purposeful. Their entire body joined the effort. Today, many of us walk while looking at a phone, shuffling through a parking lot, or wondering where we left our reading glasses. That's movement, but it isn't always training. Instead, try walking tall for 10 to 20 minutes with purpose. Let your arms swing naturally, keep your chest comfortably open, and imagine a string gently lifting the top of your head. If you're comfortable, carry a light backpack or a pair of small shopping bags to involve your upper back and core without overloading your joints. Just remember, this isn't a contest to see how much you can carry. The goal is to finish feeling stronger, not as though you've accidentally volunteered to move your neighbor's furniture. Keep your core softly engaged, breathe rhythmically, and choose a pace that allows you to walk smoothly rather than hurriedly. This is one of those moments where old wisdom and modern science shake hands. We spent years searching for the perfect exercise, only to rediscover that the body thrives on regular, purposeful movement. Fancy equipment can certainly help, but consistency has always been the real masterpiece.